My OGs and my new Gs, welcome again to another video. Woo! Consistent coin here. My goal is to post out 2 videos every month. Oh, every week, 2 videos. And I think so far, so good. This is like a second, it's too sharp, but I'm going to tweet my consistency on. Yeah. Welcome to another video. This video, I'm going to be focusing on how to land remote jobs and how my personal experience, landed a remote job in 3 months. So I have my laptop here just so I don't forget my timeline. But I started actively job hunting in November. Then I landed this job in January. I'll explain to you how I did it. But let's backtrack a bit. I'm not a big fan of fully remote work. I I don't like it. I prefer in person of work schedule. I know it's not very popular and people will come for me that remote work is king. I think it varies with every individual. I for one I work better in an on-site setting where I was talking to someone. I was like, if I need something done, I don't have to send you a message, wait for you to respond. If I call you and you're not responding to my message, it's just very annoying. I like to just pop by your office. Oh, please can I take a quick minute to check this, check that, check this, check that, and my work is done. Especially when my work is dependent on other people. But when you live in Lagos, I don't think fully on site is advisable because, except if I live like 15 minutes away from my house, I would really be doing fully on site. I can walk by my office by 8:45, leave by 5:15 or anytime I really want, and I'll get home on time. It's just traffic situation. But for people living in Lagos or people who get burnt out easily, I think a hybrid setting would be best, maybe 2 or 3 days in the office and every other day as work from home. So let me read out my timeline. I started actively job hunting in November, like I said. I had sent in my applications, ended the job like 2 weeks back. I had sent in my applications everywhere. I was doing interviews, but there was nothing really happening. And then first question, first tip I would give you is to get your tools ready. Now your tools are your CV, your portfolio, your resume, if that's what you call it, anything and everything, your LinkedIn profile, anything and everything that you are to send out there for recruiters to take a look at and then decide to invite you for a conversation. So I have a video that I think I'm going to link here. Is a short on how to use ChatGPT to bypass every ATS system. Essentially, what you do is you copy the job description, paste on ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to give you the keywords, the ATS keywords there, and then let ChatGPT coin those keywords for you to job responsibilities that you can now sprinkle on your resume. It helps you bypass the ATS system, your code, and now you have to now deal with face-to-face interactions with recruiters. And the next one will be to apply. So I applied for jobs everywhere. Essentially, I applied for jobs on LinkedIn, I applied for jobs on Indeed, on Jobberman, on my job mag, um, everywhere essentially. But this particular job, how I got it, which is another tip for you, will be to join communities. So I belong to a lot of HR communities, and if I want to even give you one secret tip, if you can find yourself in those HR communities, that's the best place to be. I know we want to be in the communities of our fellow, like in communities of our fellow, like colleagues. However, the jobs are with the HR managers. Even I would say if you're building your LinkedIn profile, follow HR managers that are recruiting for your field. If you're in tech, for instance, follow tech HR or HR that works in tech and all of that. Because when they post this job, you will get first pick. So I have a group of like all HR professionals where we share jobs, we ask for recommendations, and on the 25th of December, I'll put a screenshot. One of the HR managers posted that they were looking for that there's a startup that's looking for a HR manager, put in the budget. Somebody asked what the work mode was and said it was fully remote. I'm like, I'm not really a fully remote person, but maybe I should just join and just try and just see, right? So I sent in my CV as fast as possible. And you know, the crazy thing about being in that type of space is we had like this 1,000 something. The group was full. It was a WhatsApp group, and it was full. And it had HR professionals from every area, every level, every. So the competition was very, very stiff, right? But I think I got first pick because maybe because it was December, people were chilling. I don't think a lot of people applied immediately. But even when I spoke to, got the first call from the recruiter, he told me that they were like he had about 64 CVs to go through before, and then he would shortlist the top 10 and send it to them. So I applied on the 25th of December. On the 26th of December, I got a call from the recruiter, like a chat, a meeting chat, like a 10-15 minute chat. about like what I was expecting, why I wanted to be where I was working, my experience in general, and then he said, "Oh, he'll send the top five to he'll speak to 10 more people and send top five to the company." For the 31st of December, I got a call. I was in Benin for the holidays. I have a vlog. So I vlogged my on the day I did my photo shoot, my professional photo shoot. I got a call from the head that, "Oh, they've been trying to reach me. I'm available to do an interview for that day, 2 p.m." And mind you, I was at the photo studio by 9 a.m. So I quickly did my session, ran home, got home like just in time by like past one, and had the interview. My mother's chicken was crowing all through that interview session, you guys. I was laughing. I tried not to laugh because I was a bit embarrassed, but then the recruiters were pretty chilled about it. They even made jokes about like the chicken that made it through Christmas. This was already past Christmas. They don't know what God is doing, and they are making noise. So it was very very chilled. I had that interview on 31st of December. It went well, and then they reached out to me again to have another interview by the 9th of January. This is where after you sent in your applications, after you apply to the different job roles, one of the things that you want to do is to prepare for interviews. Most people don't prepare for interviews unless they are called. And usually when they call them, the notice is very, very short. And when the notice is very short, and because maybe they're also working at the same time, they end up not preparing, they just post it through. And the one question can make or mar your entire interview process. So I would also advise that use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is your go-to for everything. Use ChatGPT to prepare for an interview. How do you do that? Copy the job description of the role, copy your resume, paste on the same ChatGPT, and tell ChatGPT that pretend like that you're a hiring manager who is to interview me for this role that I've shared the job description with you for. Help come up with questions that you would ask me based on my experience and based on the fit for the role. And you'll be amazed at the questions that ChatGPT would ask you. Now, after he has given you the questions, something else that you want to do is ask you to give you the answers. Now, it's not for you to copy the answers word for word. Be cool. We beg you. Like I had a candidate who was cheating off ChatGPT during an interview, and it was so I don't want to say foolish, but he was wearing glasses. So we asked the question and we were like, "Oh, he had network issues." He came back and I was like, "Repeat the question." But we could see through his glasses that he was reading from ChatGPT. Yeah. So ChatGPT will give you answers, like possible answers, tailor it to your experience and practice it. I trust to God it really helps. So I had the next interview. They brought in a consultant because it was a flagship role. It was the first role, HR role that we were having in-house. So they brought in a very big consultant. So when I saw that this was the person I was meeting, I went on LinkedIn. Another tip is to know your opponent. I went on LinkedIn to check out this lady, check out all the work that she had done. Prepared for the interview. I did the interview. I thought I flopped the interview. Like I thought I flopped. Like it was going really well, but there was a question that I had asked that they asked me that I didn't know the answer. I didn't know the exact answer. However, if there's one thing that corporates will teach you, or recruiting or job hunting will teach you, that never you say that you don't know. Even if they tell you it's okay to say you don't know, attempt the question. So I attempted the question, I provided answers, but at a particular time, I felt I was blabbing, and when I was done with the interview, I remember messaging my husband that, "Oh, I don't know, I don't think that this went well. I blabbed towards the end," and he was like, "Oh, don't worry, you get it," and all of that. And then I got a call from the recruiter again, like 2 days later, to just discuss what the expectations was in terms of the role. And on the 16th of January, I got my offer to resume a couple of weeks later as a HR lead for this tech company, and it was fully remote. So working fully remotely and all of that. And I started it, but I didn't continue. That's not what I do right now. Again, like I said, fully remote is not my thing. But I got a better job offer in that same January to resume. Yeah. So like technically I got like two offers in the space of 3 months. One was fully remote and one was hybrid. Now you're done with your interviews, you negotiate your salary, tell them what you want to get, what you're looking to get. Now, how do you improve your chances of getting? People think that it's hard to get remote jobs on LinkedIn. However, it's not hard. It's difficult. Okay, maybe it's hard, but it's not impossible. Let's say that it's hard, but it's not impossible. So here's my tip on how you would land a remote job on LinkedIn as a Nigerian living in Nigeria. Go to the job search portion. Typically, people like to focus on I call them the big three. That's US, UK, Canada for remote jobs. although they're highly competitive, the chances of them having like fully remote in Nigeria is not great. They'll look at time zone, look at the reputation of where you're coming from, and all of that. However, if you go to your job search on LinkedIn, go to the job category, and when they ask you location, put EMEA. EMEA, it will pop up. It's a group of Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. They are grouped together as EMEA. So when you put them there, put your job title that you're looking for, filter. Once it shows you, go to remote filter. These people are most likely to hire you as a Nigerian living in Nigeria because they most likely have experience with other Nigerians on their team. Or they also look at time zone because the time zone between these is like GMT, like the variance is maybe plus or minus 2 or 3 max. They don't have to struggle about you being a slave while they are awake and all of those things. And they are more inclined to hire Nigerians from Nigeria. I'll also say that when you're targeting these countries, focus on countries that are the underdog in that sense. What this means is leave the UK, leave the US, leave the US. I know people who have gotten fully remote gigs from countries in Saudi Arabia, from countries like South Sudan, from countries like South Africa. Now, they pay them in USD, which is the goal of it all, right? The goal of the entire thing is to earn in dollars and beat naira devaluation, nothing else. So they pay in USD. So maybe look towards all of these other countries that are seemingly not big in your eyes, or when people tell you that you're working there or you're staying there, you're just buying it, like, what happened? But these countries will pay you your worth in dollars. So other job boards that you can also find fully remote jobs are Indeed. But for Indeed, you have to tailor it to your country. So for instance, if you go indeed.com now, it will take you to Indeed Nigeria. However, if you search Indeed Canada on Google, it will give you the URL for Indeed Canada. So that's where you go to and start applying for jobs. So you don't go to Indeed.com, it's going to give you the Nigerian thing. So even when you're trying to filter by location, it's not going to give you what you want. There's ZipRecruiter, there's Glassdoor. Glassdoor is good because you get to see comments from people who have done their interview process, what the interview process is like, if you're going to do case studies, anything that you're going to do essentially. And then we work remotely. There are also some places that will give you like freelance access to freelance jobs, like flex jobs online and all of that. But particularly, I have used other freelance platforms that you can use that I have used is Upwork and Fiverr. Now, I know they may be oversaturated, but there are people I know who have gotten gigs, like constant gigs from Upwork that has now translated into an offline contract outside of Upwork that paid them their G's. I hope you found this video helpful. Follow this channel, share with your family members and friends and anyone who would benefit. I share things ranging around how to grow in your career, how to land your dream job, acing interviews, getting study abroad opportunities, and everything in between. Thank you very much for coming. I will see you in my next video. Bye.